Hello, this is Kellner-Zinck here to explain what I would do with the AI Impact Grant from Alicia Lyttle. I am an advanced clinical hypnotist and master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming and a certified trainer of both of those modalities along with timeline therapy. Back in 2005, I had 3 eating disorder clients come to me all in a row. One was an anorexic, 2 were bulimics. They all said the same thing to me after we were done with the work we did, which I did one-on-one with each of them sequentially, not at the same time. Please train those mental health providers who help people like us heal, because they don't know what they're doing and they're hurting us. Which is a pretty sad commentary, actually. All of them had been in both inpatient and outpatient programs. None of them received what they felt was respectful, caring treatment. One of them had gotten to a healthy weight, the anorexic, but she was still having a lot of problems with a lot of the eating disorder behaviors, and she wanted them to stop. She had found a flyer of mine that was at Harvard University on their wall, and it was for smoking cessation, but she realized that there were similarities between her problem and smokers and having behaviors that could not be stopped. As a result of working with these 3 young women, they were all in their early to mid-20s at the time, perfect age for hypnotism, frankly, because their prefrontal cortexes are not fully developed until 25 years old for females and 26-year-old for males. They helped me to learn how to help them heal and move on with life. So the AI grant would help me do 2 things. One, to be able to get the word out to the mental health providers who specialize in treatment of anorexia and bulimia to be trained in my protocol, which is actually in a formal training that I developed during an 18-month-long master's degree program in instructional design and development. I was blessed to have a fabulous professor for my first course and 3 other courses who helped me to lay this all out. Because generally speaking, instructional design and technology is used a lot in companies to help them fill a gap in training of new employees. And usually it's autonomous learning, meaning off the computer with 10 or 20 questions after a 10-minute video. This was a 21-hour full training with performance objectives, and they have to be able to take a quiz that they have to explain what they would do for the treatment in specific situations that I have given them, to be able to demonstrate that they actually have learned the underlying foundational content of how hypnotism works and how to apply it correctly. And a mentorship is actually involved as well, 12 months, because it takes practice to learn how to do any performing type of application. There's a reason why doctors and nurses and psychologists, etc., have to do clinicals, and this would serve as their clinical, where they could contact me and let me know where they're stuck with their patient, and then I would tell them exactly what order they need to do each of the techniques to get the best results and go over the techniques they're using. I've mentored several people in how to do this work. They love it because it works. I've retrained people who have been trained in hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming who are finally getting really great results with their clients and not taking on clients that didn't fit their scope of care. The reason that this is really, really important is because we're losing 52 anorexic and bulimic patients a day. Most of them are teenagers or in their 20s, college, or shortly thereafter. And this is a really good time to do hypnosis with them because their brains are in the hypnotic state quite naturally, and they're actually in a hypnotic state when they're doing their self-harming behavior, so they're really well practiced at it. So I use what they're doing naturally to help them heal instead of harm themselves. We match that up with a compelling future that's more important to them than holding on to the dysfunctionality, which has served as their identity for all the years they've had their eating disorder, and which is really scary for them to let go of because they don't know who they are without it. But as a result of doing the work, they're able to fall back in love with themselves. Most of them tell me when I first work with them that they loathe themselves, not hate themselves, loathe themselves. So they have to love themselves enough to be able to do the work and be willing to eat the foods that their bodies require for normal functioning, which includes healthy fats, which is easy to do once I teach them about that fact and hypnotize them to help them to actually eat healthy food, all kinds. And it works out magically well. So that's what I would do with the grant if it was given to me, because I'm sick of seeing the conventional mental health providers telling these patients that they have to manage these symptoms forever. Many of them are on toxic drugs for anxiety and depression. They don't need the drugs. What they need is to have their emotional traumas healed, which were the cause of the disorder developing in the first place, and learning what it is that would create a really beautiful, happy, fulfilled life for them, and helping them work toward making that their reality. When you do those things, they not only heal, they never go back to their eating disorder. I can tell you this after 25 years of experience in this business. So I hope you were touched by the story of healing and how I would use this money to save lives, literally save lives. Thank you for this opportunity.